Welcome to Short Shift Garage, and in this episode I've got a new project, my 1998 Ford XH Falcon ute. So we'll have a walk around. Definitely didn't buy this car because of its looks. Looks alright from afar, but once you get within 10 feet you can see the issues with it. One of the biggest ones. She's sitting low in the back and she's looks like shit in the front, so we've got to sort that ride height out. But yeah, clear coat peeling off the bonnet, the roof, the headlights are faded, blinkers are cracked. Dents throughout, rust in the seals, pretty standard stuff. It's probably not too bad up there, it's just in that seal line there. Decrease the join, which door handles. It's got the shark fins on it, which I do like. Flares. Tailgate's been dropped on the tow hitch, bogged and starting to crack. Little ding in the rear bumper bar. This side here, a lot of the paint is cracked. Starting to rust, like a fair bit of it. I don't know if it's got any bog behind it or not. And this seal down here, she's the worst one. She's really letting go there. A bit further up here, inside the door jamb there, someone's, I think it's locked. Yeah, someone's already played with it. Ford door handles, love them. Yeah. License, runs and drives. I think I drove about 160 k's home. Pretty rough. The front end is very loose. It needs a fair bit of attention. Every ball joint needs replacing. 4 litre T5. Second synchro's gone in that, so that also needs attention. So we'll jump inside here. See if she starts up. It's been sitting for about 6 days, so I'll be surprised. Yep, she's flat. There she is, a single overhead cam weapon. Battery 9 so it's a bit old. We'll grab the jump starter and see if it starts.
What's that called?
So just got the King's portable jump pack here. Got a couple of these. This one's brand new. Keep them in a few of my cars. Nice cheap option. Give that a go. Don't touch these. you go, she's running. Flat battery, I have to look at changing that. I do have a spare from the VK, a bit smaller, just got to set this the right way around. Got a young fella in there. Hopefully it doesn't smash it in gear and drive us through the shed. Yeah, she actually drives quite well. Just that second synchro coming back down is dodgy, just avoid that for now. But yeah, 318,000 Ks. Bit of a little injector tick there, but not too worried about that. The plans for this motor is going to come out. We're going to give it a little bit of love, a bit of spice to it. It's quite well down in here. But yeah, first thing is go through this front end here. Going to lower it, and just replace the ball joints, the wheel bearings, the bushings, upper lower control arms. Make that nice and tight. So I actually don't mind. A little bit different in the Utes, but the ELs, I like how they steer. I reckon they're a nice tight front end for the age of the cars when they were made. I like the front ends in these EF Falcons. Clearly going to be a bit different with the leaf springs in the back. It's going to be a harsher ride. I'm going to probably rip these out and put some wagon springs in there, so they're a little bit softer. Keep the lower end blocks. May even have to go a bit lower. I do like them nice and low in the back, but that front's definitely got to come down. So yeah, we'll probably hook into that, fix this front end up, get her driving a bit better, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Cheers. So before I jack the car up and get on jacks, I'm just going to take a measurement from the hub to the flare, and then I'll redo it once the new suspension has settled, and that'll just give me a measurement of how much it's dropped, 20, 30, 40, 50 mil, whatever. Also, these had a lock nut in them. I didn't have the lug key for it. The GoPro was dead, so I took it on my phone, so I'll throw that up now, how I got those off on each one, and I'll quickly go through, measure this, all four, write it down, record it, and then we'll jack this up, take the wheels off and start stripping it. So just taking the wheels off here, come across these beauties, lock nuts, and do not have the lock nut key for it. So grabbed a cheap 18mm deep socket and bashed it on. Thankfully they're not very tight. So all I did was, and then smashed it with a hammer, then used a breaker bar to get it off. They weren't very tight, so they came off easy. So, show it that way. We'll call that 400mm from the centre to the guard. And we'll just do. Mil 3/4 inch chromey because we love it. I do need to get proper wheel lug sockets to protect the rims. Chuck this under here in case that does want to fall for some unknown reason. So just two 13mm bolts hold this caliper on. Front one is a bit worn. Still got life left in it. Just there. Brake pads. This one, yeah, she's they don't just pop out. So it spins quite well, but you can definitely hear that wheel bearing. She is grumbly. Good thing we got a kit, but yeah, that is definitely grumbly, and that's definitely the sound that I was hearing in there. You just don't want too much pressure on that brake hose. Really, and we don't want to put any pressure around it at the moment. We're holding it, but we're going to tie off to it. It's kind of resting on that radius rod for now, but we've got the cable tie there to be its friend. Just one. You can hear her. She is, yeah, doesn't look too healthy. Yeah, she is completely shot. Right. Look at all the metal in there. That there is completely shagged. Which, guess you get it. So we'll take this stub axle off now. Cutting up here for the ball joint, tie rod end, and then there's another ball joint in the back here. I will chuck on the time lapse and we'll crack into that and get the hammer and start bashing these. She's definitely seen better days, that one. So just taking this rack end off, got the boot off, and all it is it's got lock washer there, that's just bent over, and same at the top. Just going to knock them back over and then put the Stilsons on here and then undo it. Rack ends off. I've headed down to the local auto store and I've ordered that with the boot and also the D-bush for the sway bar link, and that'll come in the next few days. I've now got to pull the shock out, the upper control arm, the lower control arm, the radius rod and the sway bar. So we'll get into that. We'll start with the upper control arm. All I'm going to do is undo the 4 bolts that hold it in and pull it out, and then I'll split the rest on the bench. Then yeah, crack this bolt down here for the shock, that bolt there for the radius rod, and that one up the back here for the lower control arm, and then the shock tower bolts. So on the driver's side, that is everything out apart from the sway bar, which I'll get once I get to the other side. Yeah, come out alright. That's the radius rod bush, that's all cracked and let go. And then it's all rubber. Can't really say if it's down, it's probably been replaced once in its life. It's the shock mount. It's definitely a bit how you going. So now I've just got to go through, strip all these bushes out of here, give them a clean up, hit them with some black paint. All I'm taking from that is just the top strut mount, and the rest I'll just push all the bushes out and replace them. So we're just going to strip this spring and shock because we need the top hat for the new shock and springs. Just going to use spring compressors. So I'll chuck these on the time lapse and we'll just compress this down, rip that nut off, and we'll keep that. So now that everything's out of the car, we'll strip the shock and spring. We're going to start going through the lower control arm, the upper control arm, and start replacing these bushes. First thing I'll do is I'll strip all this and this, get the bushes out, I'll give it a clean. I've got ball joints to remove as well, upper and lower. They need to come out. And then I'll degrease these, and the radius rod as well, which I've got down on the ground here, because that's got bushes still on it. I'll degrease all these, I'll clean them, I'm going to paint them up. But first, we'll start by stripping these. I've got a full white line bush kit, ball joint kit. But yeah, we'll pop these off. And yeah, we'll get it stripped, and we'll go from there. So we got that bushy out at the end. I've just bashed it to an inch of its life, just with the old wood chisel, until it's separated here, because it's one piece. It's definitely one piece, because how it's all snapped here, down in here. I don't know if these... Alright, so now we're going to remove these ball joints. There's a circlip on here, and then another one's got a snap ring on it. Remove that, and then we'll clean up around here, and then we're going to push this bad boy that way. So we'll get the right pressing tool. So she's out. All I'm using just this ball joint removal tool. It's just a cheapie. First I had it set up like this, but I was hitting down here, which sends this, and when you're trying to press stuff out, you've got to be pretty square on, because if you're coming in like that, it's just not going to work. So I've come in like this. I started with one of these spaces, I think, one of these bad boys, at the back here, locked into there, and then I've just tried to go off the outside here, so it just fits on the outside and picked up around this lip, and then we'll just come in this way, this bad boy in here, like whatever, our good friend here, like that, and then this one in here. I did actually just use a bit of matte gas and put a bit of heat around here to soak it in, and then just use the rattle gun with the old chrome socket, which didn't explode in my face, which was, that thing's copped a bit of a hiding. But yeah, that was so there we go, that lower ball joint is out. I was going to try and press it out with that press kit, but because it rises up here compared to here, it kept going on cocking over, so we were coming like that, and it just wasn't working. I would have had to cut that spacer tool out to suit here. But before I done that, I decided to just get the old hammer and I'll give her a couple of whacks in the back end. It took a few, but it was moving, and it was moving quite easy. So it came out quite well, just hitting it. Like, it still had force, it was still in there very tight, but it was moving with the hammer. So I just hit it with that and got a few good ones in there in the middle, and that done the job. We'll see how we go getting it in, if we have to chain anything up. I've still got the passenger side to get at as well, so if that doesn't come out that easy, we'll have to modify one of these tools to suit here to be able to push it out. So we've got the ball cleaned out. We'll just give a bit of a clean up in here. The ball joint's in the freezer. We're going to try and press this in using this, which I used to remove them. I don't know if we're going to... Righto, we've got this top ball joint started, just using the rattle gun and this pressing tool. We have to get a little bit closer, and we'll have to probably change this out because we're going to hit it. But we've got the big rattle gun on it. Now, I will stop the noise when I get on this bad boy, because you don't want to hear that come through the video. And there we go. That ball joint is in. We'll just pop in the circlip behind the back here, put the boot back on it, and happy days. Right, now we're just going to put this lower ball joint in. Just got this tool here, I've just chamfered the back to fit down in here. On the driver's side, this one was a bit easier, but we shall see how we go. That's it. Make sure this goes on. Sweet, happy days. So for the driver's side, everything's painted up. I'm just going to go through now and start fitting some bushes to the upper control arm that go into the body. I've got the lower control arm here. I'm going white line everything in the front end, bush wise, but I am still waiting for some bushings to come for the lower shock mount. So I will start putting these bushes in for the upper control arm, throw the bolts in for now, and then that's ready to go in. The spindle is ready to go back in. Put the bush in for the lower control arm. Yeah, I'm just waiting on that other bush to come. Even the radius rod bushes, they're all white lines. Everything in the front's now white line. The only thing I think I've got is the sway bar is Nolithane, which it's the same, but just so I'm just throwing a bit of underbody around in here just to tidy up just a little bit. I'm going to go, I've left the brake caliper and brake line. I'm going to go ahead now and throw this new rack end in, along with a new boot and also a tie rod end. So I'll chuck these on the time lapse and we'll get these in. I'm going to start throwing some suspension parts into this driver's side. Everything's painted up. We'll start with the radius rod arm, the lower control arm, then throw the shock assembly in, then the upper control arm. I'll try and get you in as close as I can so you can see, and we will get this going. So that lower arm's in now. It's all loose. The only thing I've tightened up so far is the upper shock mounts, because that's metal on metal. The reason we're not tightening any of the rubber or the polyurethane is because you want it to be at ride height, because if you tighten it now then lower it, it can twist the face of the bush and tear it, and then that's no good. That's bad time. So we're going to throw the upper control arm in. These are left loose still. But I can tighten these down because it's the same thing, it goes metal on metal. So we'll throw that in, and then we've also got the camber spacers that I've labelled, back, front, so they'll go in as well. Get this one a bit tighter. This one. This one. Just going to throw the spindle in, stub axle, whatever you want to call it. Lower ball joint 85 Newton meters, upper 55, tie rod end 45. Here we go, our brakes have arrived for the front end of this XH Falcon. we'll open it up and see exactly what we've got. Hopefully it's right, because it was quite a weight. This is just the front rotors, because I've already got the Bendix front premium pads to go in this. So this is just the DBA Street Series, pretty standard but decent quality brand, and it's going to be better than what was in there, which was some fucking dusty piece of crap. Nothing special, they're just brake rotors, but they're here. We've been waiting on them for a couple of days, so you got to be half excited. So these rotors came with the cups installed. I've knocked this one out of this one at the back. I'm going to knock these other three out. I've bought a bearing kit with the seal. Timken quality bearings, that's what's going in there. Don't know what brand this is. It's got the part number for the bearing size. But yeah, I'll just keep it all the same. Go through and we'll knock these out, then I'll... So I've cleaned out in here with brake clean. We've got our cup for our small bearing. All the way down home. And also get a bit of wood and use that. These wheel bearings, just going to pack them by hand. Chuck some gloves on. Just using the Penrite high temp wheel bearing grease. We'll pack every single one and then just bag them back up until we need them. Pretty straightforward doing this. Grease on hand, grease in bearing. Happy. You really do want to try and keep these clean though. So just be very mindful of that. What I do, get some the palm of your hand, grab your bearing like so, and you're just gonna put it in between these two contact surfaces here, and you're just gonna pack it in, and you'll just go until it starts coming out, and you just keep going, and then you just work your way around, and you can see how it's starting to come out the top. That's what you want. You just keep doing that the whole way around while spinning it. Get as much grease in as you can. There we go, the seal is installed. I didn't have anything the same size as that diameter wise, so I just used the pin punches, chased it around. You just got to make sure you knock these all the way down to the seat that it needs to go to, because where this goes, if that's protruding out, you won't get a true torque reading when you set your wheel bearing up. So we'll go throw this in the car. We're all clean on the spindle. Just going to chuck some grease around there. Between the manual, the wheel bearing kit and the rotor, there is 3 different ways to do this, and there's probably 300,000 other ways to do it. All roughly recommends going to about 30 Newton meters on the nut. One recommends doing it till you feel it bite down, and that's pretty much what we're going to do. That's how I do them. Don't have to do it this way, do it your own way. But I'll do it, I'll spin it until it grabs, and that's your preload, and then make sure you back it off, and then just nip it up and send your cotter pin in, split pin, again, whatever you want to call it. You pretty much don't want to over tighten it, you don't want to leave it loose. You want to give it a little bit to expand, but the main thing is that you get preload on it. that's where you're going to have issues if it's not preloaded. Get our bearing, enough grease in there, send him in. It does want to go the other way. Alright, put him on, and you get your nut. Been on and off a couple of times in its life. As for the amount of Ks that we have, it's well whilst we're spinning it like this, you'll feel it get a little bit tighter. And that's pretty much, you definitely got resistance there. It's pretty much probably 30 there. You back it off, say half a turn, it'll free up, and then we're just going to nip it while spinning it. And that'll be around till the whole lines up. About there. Put this down. Spin it. Right, so we're going to fit the brake caliper. Just going to get a rag, brake clean, soak it. And we just want to clean this rotor, the disc, from all grease that we've put on it, and they also come with a bit of a preventative rust sealant on it as well. You want that completely gone to help so you don't damage the pads when they try to bed in. Well, these are no bedding in ones, but still, let's give it a decent wipe both sides. Even the outer can have a bit of a rub, stuff it. Yep. I'm going to tuck these in as well, which they just clip in here. These are just your slides. Try and feed this through while we're here. Which ways I want to go. In there like that. Okay, try and hold it there. You've got an inner and an outer. That just pushes in. The top one just slides in somehow. It's a bit difficult. Like so. And that should drop in if we've got enough. I think we have to press that caliper in. Yeah, rightio. So we just got our piston compressor tool. Just drops in. And then you just tighten it up until it pushes this piston back in. You just got to watch your reservoir for your brake fluid, that it doesn't overflow. I've already taken some out of mine because you do both sides, and you just send it back in. Pretty much when you flush here, it will indicate that you're back far enough. I've got a little bit of fluid up there. It's not overflowing though, so we'll say that's back far enough. Hymns in the right way. So I'm going to flip that up, move it across, and then he's in. Hopefully that's enough. Oh, just. I'm just going to push the slides back because they've popped out. So I was having trouble getting this pin back to get this on as well, and it is rusted. Not solid, but there's crap in there. So we're going to clean this up. We'll clean up the bore, and we'll just put some caliper grease in there, refreshen it up. The seals they're not in the best shape, but they'll go again for now. And we'll do this one while that one's holding it, and then we'll switch around and do the other one. Both slides are now moving a bit freer. It was only the one that was really causing the issue. It wasn't seized, it was just tight. Definitely rusty in there. So that was good to get in there and just give that a quick clean up. Hard home. And then we'll just guide that in. Just gotta watch that we don't bite that boot. Like that. Line up our bolt holes. A little bit of Loctite on it. Just a bit of blue, medium strength stuff here. Go. Take our torque wrench to 30, 28, 30. Lock it up. Probably not gonna fit. So right now we're just going to slap this wheel back on, and then we just got to finish off the passenger side, lower it down, tighten the bushings that we can get to, and then if I can't get to these top upper control arm ones, I'll just have to jack it up and put pressure under the lower control arm to get it up, and that should be enough to get us back to our ride height. there you have it, that's the front end done. I still need to drive it so it settles in a little bit, and then I also need to get a wheel alignment done. But I'll get the back end done first, which will be on an upcoming episode of Short Shift Garage. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel.